So today, guys, we are going to make these dragon plastic canvas, and you can squeeze it on its side there and it actually opens his mouth. You can actually hide things in there. Some people have put candy in there, little charms, whatever you like. It can hold papers and be like a paper clip also. So how we want to start out is we want to go ahead and thread our needle, and this part can be tricky at times. It might take you a couple times. And you want to pull some of it through, not all the way through. Leave a little bit of a tail. And you will not tie a knot at the end. And you'll take your first square, and it's 10 by 10, so when you cut yours at home, you want to make sure you count 10 up and 10 on around the sides. And you're going to go ahead and start in your second hole here. Right here. So leave this one empty and start in your second hole. And go ahead and pull. You want to pull just about almost all of it through, but you also want to leave another tail here, probably about that much. And you want to go ahead and hold it with your other hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to be holding it with my left. And then you're going to go in like a diagonal. So you'll go down this one and then go ahead and pull through. And just pull it kind of slow because sometimes it can tangle, but it's real easy to get it undone. And you see right here, you'll get your first stitch. And then you want to go through the second one, which, well, would be the third one. Up through the bottom. Push it through. And then you want to go diagonal again. And make sure you keep holding on to that tail, because as you're going to sew through, your tail is going to get covered up. And you just kind of repeat. Okay, so you saw here I'm got to the end of my row. I'll show you guys the back here. You can see my tail is hidden in and sewn up. So where you want to start here now is you want to go into this bottom one down here, and you want to go underneath, and this will start your second row. And then you go to this one right here. You count over from this one, 1, 2, and then you go this way in, and you just pull it through. And here's where it gets a little tricky. So when you come back in, you actually are going to be going in on this one. See here? Be the top one of this one. Right there. I'll do it one more time. So you'll be in the row that you sewn already. And you come from underneath, pull it all the way through, and then you're going to go to the diagonal on that one. Let's pull it all the way through. I'll show you one more time. See, I'm going to come through right here now. And then go down this way into the diagonal. And then you're just going to follow this row all the way up. And repeat. And then kind of like the same that we did down here, you want to go to the second one over, and you're going to go through the bottom right here of the second one. So it's also on the same row, your second stitching. So you go through the bottom, and then into the top. You guys see that? show you guys one more time. So it's going to be this stitch now. See right there? It's the top, the second row of your stitching. You're going to go in from the bottom to make your third row and then do the diagonal. And pull it all the way through, and you want to go in right here as a diagonal. You just do this all the way down through the row. Messed up right here. So when you do mess up, you just kind of go back through where you did mess up. Sometimes it's best if you just take the needle off. Okay, I'm not going to have to take the needle off, so I'm going to feed it back through. Oh, I had to take the needle off. Okay. You will have one left open, which is right here. When you are finished completing your rows, don't worry about it, because when you going to connect the squares together, that is going to disappear. So I have finished this one. So what you want to do is go ahead and turn it over. Here's the front, here's the back. And then just like when you're sewing, you want to refeed your needle through, and then you can cut this off. Don't do the first one, go probably through the second one. And I usually go through about 2 or 3 of them just to make sure I'm secure. Okay, and then you'll just feed it through like so. And then you can go ahead and just cut this little piece off as close as you can. get a little more if you want to. Okay, so that is your first square, and then you're just going to repeat on the other two. So I'm going to start on my second one, and we're going to do the same thing. You go over to the second one, 1, 2, and then go start from the bottom. Don't forget to leave your tail. Hold it with your left hand, and then go diagonal through the top. I didn't change my string on this one. If you want, you can get a new piece of yarn. But I'm going to continue to use this one. That way I can show you guys if you run out or your string breaks or any kind of problem you have throughout, how you can just replace it and start again. Start a new piece of yarn. I'm going to go ahead and make sure you poke it your diagonal and bring it through, and then just go ahead and undo your needle. You can trim it down just a little bit, but you don't want to do it too much, because you do want to run it back through. Actually, let's go ahead and do it this way. This would probably be easier, especially for beginners. So keep your needle on. And then go ahead, just like you're ending it with the sewing. Like here's your sewing. You come through those two and pull it through. Be careful though with it being so short, it could. Then secure it. Go ahead and drop your needle out, and then go ahead and cut it down. See how I did that? Just kind of thread it through again. Now same thing, you're going to want to go ahead and come up from the bottom, and then this one you'll have a little tail, so hold your tail. Okay, and tuck your tail back this way with your left hand, and you're just going to keep feeding it through again, and as you feed it through you're going to sew the tail in, just like in the beginning. Completing my second one now, and you guys remember I will have an empty hole there, but don't worry about that, because when you connect them all together that's all going to be covered up. Okay, then I'm going to flip it over. Remember, not the very first one, but go through the second and the third and the fourth, run it through there and pull it through to tie it off. And just snip it off. Okay, so I have completed 2 so far. Here's the front, and here's the back of them. And just set those aside, and let's start our very last one. So I just finished my third one here. Let's go ahead and tie it off. Okay, now what you want to do here is you want to go ahead and glue on your pair of googly eyes. I'm going to use hot glue, but you guys can use Elmer's. Just make sure with the Elmer's you let it enough time to dry. This is when we get our other yarn in there to help make its lips. So I'm going to use black, and we're going to make a whip stitch. So what that is here, after you get your eyes glued on and it's dry, you see the little hole over here that we've been leaving empty the whole time. So you want to go ahead and poke it through there. Bring it all the way through, and you are going to leave yourself a tail. And the tail is going to go down this way. And what a whip stitch is you're just going to keep going around because you have nowhere else to go. See how I do that? And you actually come through the same hole. And you want to do this one like 2 or 3 times to make sure it completely covers the corner here. Flip it around again. I'm going to go in a second time. The corners you want to make sure you get real good because sometimes some space in plastic canvas will show. And I'm going to go one more time. Pull it around. Go back through. And you want to continue down this way. So flip it around, come back through the second hole. I see right there. And this is also going to hide your tail. Flip it around again. Sometimes you might have to do this one twice. Just kind of depends on the yarn. A lot of times you can get by with just pulling it through once. The mouth there. This is when we're going to start attaching other pieces, so it is going to get just a little tricky. So you're going to take your next piece and it's going to attach here, but also attach here. So you want to actually put them together like this, and you're kind of going to do the same concept where you kind of wrap around and pull through, and you squeeze them together kind of like a sandwich. So I'm going to start like this and wrap it around like that. And like I said, the corners you probably will have to go through a couple times. That gets a little tricky. Just try to keep it together. And sometimes you have to do this a few times through. Like the corners, you're definitely going to do more than twice, but other than that, you might just have to pull them through twice. If it starts feeling like it's too tight to get through it twice, just go through it once. Ready to put your third piece on. This one is going to be definitely challenging. So what you want to do is kind of open it up a little bit and you just squeeze the sides. And the way you kind of get it in there is it kind of looks like a diamond. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to end up attaching these to these. You kind of got to push it in. Make sure your bottom is in the inside. You got to bend it a little bit. See how I got these kind of lined up over here? To where it looks kind of like this. Just make sure you guys kind of hold it together like this. Again, you're going to put these two together. I'm going to go ahead and continue on around. Same thing, you're going to sandwich them together, pinch them closed tight, put your go underneath and pull through. They're not going to line up the best until you start actually kind of working it around and sewing them together. You're going to notice that you're off, but don't worry, it will match up. Just keep on doing the slip stitching through here. tails here. So when you do have a little mess up, you just kind of clip your tails short. Go ahead and pull them to the side, like we've been doing. And then you just re-stitch it in, going through them. Also on a corner again, so you want to make sure you pull your corners tight. Now you guys see that's his mouth, so you can actually pinch the sides and open it this time. In there. Okay, now to finish it off, you don't want to connect these because you want to go inside. And you don't want to have his mouth open. So we're going to do the stitch, the lap stitch again, but this is a little tricky because you want to go inside. Flip it over and go to the next hole. So it'll be right here. And you kind of just single stitch all the way in. Pull it through, lap stitch again into the second hole. And again to the third, and this is just one stitch each through each hole on this one, but you're lapping it over like a lap. This one I'm going to wrap around twice because it's kind of the corner again, so just feed it through again. Make sure you can get your mouth open. It's very important you open your mouth on these ones. Okay, there you guys have it. So to end it, you actually are going to feed it through inside his mouth. Doesn't matter if you go into the green or if you go back through the black. This way is going to tie it off. A little tricky. Sometimes your needle gets real weak and bends up at the top, so that could cause you a little bit of problems when you're trying to end it. Just cut it off. Alright guys. Got a little snag over here that came loose a little bit. You can go ahead and cut it off. And there is part of it. So once you guys have the sewing part done, you want to check to make sure that the mouth does open by pushing the sides. And now we're going to go ahead and make our fire flame and some ears for him. So I just cut it out of felt. I did put some pieces in your guys' grab bag that's going to look like this for you to create your own out of. I'll start with the ears, and I just kind of made some triangles. The fire, I just kind of came in and did a bunch of little, kind of like a star, I guess, to be the best way to describe it. And make all these little triangles out of it. And then you want to use your hot glue again or your Elmer's. And again, if you do use Elmer's, make sure you allow plenty of time to dry. Just going to put a little bit on the bottom here. And give his mouth a squeeze, and you just want to place it right there on the bottom and press. Same with the ears. You're just going to need just a little drop. And there is your final dragon. I hope you guys have fun making this. It was one of my favorites. And I'll see you next time.